For those of you that don't know, the Ludum Dare Game Jam is a weekend game jam that happens twice a year, once in April and once in October. Now, the Ludum Dare Game Jam 46 happened and finished yesterday, and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite games from the Game Jam. And hey, guys, if this video is reaching you and you are not yet subscribed to the channel, I upload indie gaming videos 6 out of 7 days of the week, so if you don't want to miss an upload, make sure to hit that big red subscribe button down below. And fair warning, the first part of this video is going to be me celebrating 250 subscribers, so if you are not interested in that, that's totally fine, I completely understand. The timeline below will be broken into chunks, and you can just find the part of the video where you want to start and pick up there. Now let's jump into the video. Guys, it finally happened. We hit 250 subscribers. Now, I didn't do much to celebrate for 100 or 200, but I thought for 250, I've got to do something. That's a quarter of the way to my overall goal of getting 1,000 subscribers on this channel, and I'm so excited that I was able to hit it. On my last channel, I got up to 425 subscribers in a little under a year, and I'm just blown away by how fast this channel is growing, and I have more of a sense of community here with you guys than I ever did on that channel, even though we're not yet to that size. I just want to thank all of you for being here for me and coming back over and over to watch my content, and I hope that the channel will continue to grow and more of you guys will get on board and join my amazing community. Alright guys, I have two things I want to do for 250 subscribers. The first one is to announce that I have a merch store open. Now from now on, you will be seeing a link in my descriptions to merch.streamelements.com/bandsmengames. On that website, I have a ton of different apparel with the Bandsmen Games controller logo on it. I made that stuff as cheap as they would let me for you guys. I don't make any profit, but I'd be happy to see pictures on Instagram and stuff of you guys using my logo. I also have 3 different super dumb indie game pun designs on that store that I'm selling for a little bit more money, so if you're an indie game dev or you're just really into the field and you want some of that, make sure to head over there and check it out. Alright guys, the second thing I did to celebrate 250 subscribers was to put out an invitation on Instagram and Discord for you guys to ask me any questions you might have, and the results were kind of underwhelming, but I'm happy with it anyway, and I am going to answer those questions right now. So our first question is coming from JSlex or Jcode or just Jay. He's an awesome guy with a great channel and he's a moderator in my Discord, and he asked, what's your best YouTuber? I assume what you mean is who's your favorite YouTuber, and that's actually a hard question to answer. I think it depends on what category. I obviously have a ton of favorite YouTubers that are in the same niche as me in indie game lists and development. There's Danny, Get Indie Gaming, The Indie Gamer, Indie Blitz, all those guys are doing amazing work. For entertainment, the main group of people that I watch is Click. They're an Australian YouTube talent agency, and all of their guys are hilarious and great. There's a ton of educational YouTubers I watch. Picking an overall favorite YouTuber is really hard, but if I had to pick somebody that embodies everything that I love to watch on the platform, I think it would be Harris Heller. If you guys don't know who Harris is, well, you should. He's a full-time YouTuber and Twitch streamer that gives awesome advice and tech tips, and he also is really good at playing Apex Legends. So, yeah, I think he's my favorite. Alright, moving on to the next question. We have a question from Archer833X. Again, great guy, he's in my Discord, and he asks, do you ever think about doing other content on your channel in the near future? That depends how broad the scope of the other content would be. I think every day about how to branch out and cover different topics in the indie gaming world. So in that sense, yes, every single day I think about doing different content. But branching out from the indie gaming world, I don't know, probably not for quite a while at least. It is a vast world, and I feel like I've covered a tiny corner of it, and I am nowhere near moving on from this niche. Indie gaming is definitely a topic that I can see taking me through my entire YouTube career. So, in answer, yes and no. I feel like I haven't answered any of the questions straight on so far, but let's move on to the next question. Hi, Bandsmen Games. Feel free to check and follow. Oh, that's too bad. We had one spam bot. Whatever, I'm sure all the other ones will. Alright, moving on to our next real question from a real person. We have Samuel Burgos asking me, what inspired you to make this YouTube channel? That's a really good question. As some of you guys might know, I started this channel just doing gaming playthroughs and let's plays with my friend Ben. He's no longer working on this channel at this point, but we were just hanging out and watching Lord of the Rings and making really dumb commentary the whole time, and we just thought to ourselves, we should put this dumb commentary on YouTube. I really did start this channel on a total whim, and I'm so thankful that I did because it's morphed into something completely different than what I ever imagined, and it's been a heck of a ride. Alright, now we have a question from Audrey Lynn for the win. Where did you put the bagels? Well, I don't know where your bagels are, but you know, if I saw some bagels, I'm guns to put them in my stomach. Alright, moving on to a question from Ivy. This is actually my sister-in-law asking, what was the first game you ever played? Now, I don't actually know the answer to this question. Growing up in my first house, the only video games we were allowed to have in the house were these games that we would get on CDs from our local library. They were like educational learning games, and I had so much fun playing them, so probably one of those. But the first legitimate video game that I played that was only for entertainment was Wii Sports Resort, and it holds a very special place in my heart. Guys, I was a fencing god. Seriously, no one could beat me. Alright, moving on to a series of rapid fire questions from Elizabeth. This is actually one of my in real life friends. I call her George. Number 1, fingernails or toenails? Neither. Number 2, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live? Actually, I would probably pick right where I currently am, in the middle of Michigan. Or maybe Iceland. Favorite sibling? I have 4 siblings and I love them all equally. Favorite game? That's a good question. Journey is up there in my favorite games. Jedi Fallen Order is a really, really good one. Like I said, Wii Sports Resort holds a super special place in my heart. Also, there's this game called Lord of the Rings Online, and it's really not a very good game, but it is the first PC game that I ever owned and played, so that also holds a special place in my heart, and I still play it from time to time. Alright guys, thanks for all the amazing questions. That's all I got, but if you have more questions... wow! But if you have more questions, feel free to leave them in the YouTube comments and I will get back to every single one of you with an answer. Now let's jump into what this video is actually about. Alright guys, so for the Ludum Dare Game Jam, there were over 2,900 entries, so obviously I didn't play all of them, but I played a huge selection of the top rated and most popular ones, and these are the games that I liked best and found the most interesting. Now these are not listed from worst to best like in my normal videos, but they're also not in a random order. I ordered them by, let's say, how interesting the games were. And hey, if you guys played a game that you really liked and you think I missed it, make sure to leave that game in the comments and I'll check it out and let you know what I think. So let's jump straight into the video, starting with a runner-up spot. I don't know if I can recommend this game as a great game, but it did make me laugh and stress out while I was playing it. This game is called Save the Fish by Michael and Simon Giraud. Sorry if I butchered your names. This game is basically a PC version of that old electronic Hasbro color game. What was it called? Simon. The game was called Simon, and you had to complete Wow, what is up with the voice cracks today? In that game, you had to complete a series of actions, and on every turn, it would go up by 1 action until you had a huge long string, and you had to see how long you could go before you forgot what to do. and this game is the exact same thing. So in this game, there's a fish on the rock, and it tells you what to do each round, and it can be any number of things like pressing a key, holding down a key, clicking on a certain part of the fish, holding a certain part of the fish down. My best score for this game was 13, and I had a ton of fun playing it, and if you guys just want a laugh and to test out your memory, I'd recommend you guys go check it out. I'll throw a link into the description. Okay, moving on, getting into our actual games list. Now, the first game I want to talk about is a game called EFI by Ludipe. This is a 2D adventure game where you play as a mama bird, and there is no way to slow down or stop your character. The best you can do for yourself is steer your direction with the arrow keys, and you have to make your way through each minuscule level and rescue your baby birds. Now, if you run into the walls or any of the obstacles on the level, you immediately have to restart, and it is really challenging. I got very stuck on a lot of levels in this game, but it does something that I love seeing in indie games. Now, if you watch all of my videos, you might know that I like indie games that are super challenging but have checkpoints frequently so that you don't get frustrated, and EFI does that perfectly. If you guys do like 2D games where nothing ever slows down and you're constantly thinking and focusing, then EFI is a great game to go check out. Alright, moving on, we have a game called PlatformEGG by Tricky Fat Cat. This is a 2D puzzle platformer where the goal of each level is to pick up an egg and get it to the end of the level. Now, there's different platforming challenges as well as saw blades and spike traps that can hurt you, and extra pineapples that give you extra points for each level, but here's the catch. You travel slower and you cannot jump while holding the egg. You can throw the egg across the level though, so the goal of this game is to solve the puzzle on how to complete the level and throw the egg to strategic spots and then get there yourself. But here's the catch. If you die on any one of these levels, it sends you all the way back to the beginning of the game. So the farther into this game you get, the higher the stakes are and the more intense it is. If you guys do like 2D puzzle platformers and you're looking for something new, I'd highly recommend you check out PlatformEGG. Alright, moving on, we have a game called Dr. Noir by Uniday Studio. This is a 3D steampunk themed puzzle adventure game where you are infected with some sickness that has really weird effects on you, and you have to run around and control steampunk machines in order to make the antidote and get to the bunker before you run out of health. Now, the concept of these challenges is pretty simple. You have to go around and collect the correct color vial, plug them into the machine, which makes different color vials, and eventually you end up with the blue vial, which cures you and unlocks the bunker. But for every day cycle as you go through this game, you get another symptom. Now, it starts mild with just slowing you down, and then you start increasing in size and not being able to fit through doorways. Eventually, your move buttons are switched all around and you don't know which direction's which. You lose your sense of color and you're growing and growing until you become a giant. This game gets real chaotic really fast, and it took me 2 or 3 tries to finally beat it, but it is a fun challenge and it's good for some laughs as well. I was blown away by the production quality of this game for being made in just 72 hours. It really is quite impressive, and I'd highly recommend you guys all go check it out. Alright, moving on, we have a game called Machina by Harry Elisavakis. This is a 2.5D roguelike tactical turn-based game where you are a player on a map of tiles, and you can use your points in order to complete different actions on your turn. Now, there's 3 types of actions you can take. Number 1, you can move your character a certain number of tiles. Number 2, you can adjust the height of the tiles using blue action cards that are randomly given to you. Or number 3, you can deal damage to the enemies using amber action cards that are also randomly handed out to you. This game is a perfect combination of luck and randomness, mixed with skill and tactical gameplay. I had a ton of fun playing this game, and sometimes I think that tactical turn-based games struggle to keep up the level of intensity that other games do, but this game really does feel intense, with evil robots hunting you down all the time, and trying to chip away at your health with their red lasers. If you guys do like tactical strategy games and you're looking for a new one to switch it up, I'd highly recommend you check out Machina. Alright, moving on to our next game, we have a game called No Fish to Die by BCKR. This is a 2D puzzle platformer game, and the concept is actually really funny. So this game is obviously a spoof on the spy James Bond style movies, but the super high stakes confidential package you have to deliver is a goldfish. But here's the catch of the game. The goldfish cannot survive out of water for more than 3 seconds. Now there's fish tanks scattered all across the map that you can throw the goldfish into, but then you have to pull through and complete the platforming challenges behind, collect the goldfish, and get it to the exit door before time runs out. This game is super well developed and really funny, so if you're up for some laughs, I'd highly recommend this game, but don't think that it won't be challenging. This game presents a legitimate platforming puzzle, and I'd highly recommend it if you are into the 2D platformer genre. Alright, moving on, we have a great game called Keep It Alive by Daniel Mullins. This game is a 2D single player game where you are an old train conductor and you have to balance a bunch of tasks at once. Now the premise of this game is that you have a heart in the back of your train that you have to keep alive at all costs, so you always have to be by the heart tending to it. But as you do that, you also have to run to the front of the train and shovel coal into the engine to keep yourself going at the correct speed. There's also a pistol in the middle that you can use to shoot at train robbers and fend them off. And to make the stakes even higher, your shoelaces can come untied, causing you to trip and fall down. As this game goes on, it gets harder and harder to balance all of these things, and it adds in more game mechanics like going up and down hills that will affect the rate of your train. If you guys do like these kind of 2D intense single player type games, I'd highly recommend Keep It Alive because I had a ton of fun playing it. Alright, moving on to our final spot, we have a game that I made an entire video about yesterday. So I will link that up in this corner of the video for you guys to check out if you're interested. But this game is called Tiny Fragments by Dazlog. This is a 2D puzzle platformer game where you have to get your character to the fruit at the end of the level, but the level is broken up into multiple tiles and you have to arrange them into the correct orientation in order to get your character to the end goal. Now, depending on the level, you might have to rearrange the tiles multiple times within one level in order to succeed, and it makes for a super unique, interesting, and fun gameplay experience. If you guys haven't seen my video on that game, I'd highly recommend you check it out, and if you have not played the game, what are you doing here? Go check it out. The links for every one of these games will be in the description down below. Alright guys, do not forget to like, subscribe, comment, and join my Discord if you want to stay up to date with my community. And I will see you guys tomorrow with another indie gaming video. And as always, happy gaming.